Hi, this is Anastasia Mangialuzzo from Phoenix Nightingale, A Healing Revolution. Today's video will be on the heart chakra. The heart chakra is located right here in the sternum. Even though our physical heart is located to our left, the energetic heart is located right here, heart center. So, we hold our heart center, we work with our heart center, we breathe into our heart center. This beautiful heart center is an emerald green in color, and it represents, when I said in the last video, the lower chakras relating us to the physical world, who we are in the world, etc. Then there's this bridge that leads all of that up through to who we are and access to our spiritual self, and then our ability to bring down and access that who we are spiritually into the physical world is what we're doing. So if we don't have our hearts open, then we can't access the full potential of our being. And even though, like, if I talk about the sacral chakra with boundaries and codependency and martyr and all these different terms that we throw around, the heart is really where it's at. If you're in your heart with that beautiful emerald green, you're able to see a broader perspective in things. You're able to really have true kinship with other beings, including animals and the nature and those types of things. When you meet somebody, you kind of feel like you already know them, or when you're working together with someone for some reason, and sometimes those things are positive and other times they're negative, there's a kinship there. And if we can access the depths of our hearts, then we will be able to access what that kinship really represents. Again, it's not always a positive situation. But if we're in that heart chakra, we can see a broader perspective. Like the hawk soars above the woods. It sees everything. If you're in the woods, you have all these trees in front of you and you can't see beyond them. Living in your heart is a complex thing. There's so much healing that each one of us has to do, and it's from this lifetime, and then sometimes it's like, where does it come from? Does it come from another lifetime? And again, that's a whole series of concepts, of belief systems that you may or may not subscribe to, but say if you do subscribe to past lives, which I do, you are bringing in things from a past life that need to be relinquished. It can't go on that way. You can't live to your full potential without dealing with them. If your heart is open, you're able to see the broader perspective and then put those pieces together with an objective viewpoint and perspective, and then make decisions from that. And the decisions aren't always a kumbaya situation. Sometimes it's like, no, I get it now. The road is over, the relationship might be over, whatever that might be. It's not always like, oh, I love unconditionally, so I just, I can do this. That's not really the deal. Is unconditional love is letting go when you need to let go. If you're in a relationship and it's just not working out, then being able to love them enough to let them go is really what we're talking about here with this unconditional love. If you realize that, you made a plan and those things weren't supposed to go past that point, you've got to be able to accept what is in the best and highest good for all individuals and keep your heart open and say, okay, no hard feelings, no bitter feelings, no bitterness, I let go. So the heart has to do with the lungs, the heart itself, the arms, and the hands, right? When you hug somebody, you pull them in with your arms and your hands. You touch somebody you love, you touch them with your hands. Sometimes people get pain in their hands, that gripping, pain in their arms, holding on. The lung and large intestine meridians actually run down the arms along with the heart meridian and others. And if we don't have that ability to keep the heart open and let go, then we have grief and regret over things that isn't really necessary for us to have. If the heart is open, we're able to breathe in life, all experiences, process them, breathe them out, and just let them go. When we are in our hearts, we truly, one of the most beautiful things that I loved about learning about the heart chakra is that when we really live in that heart, or when somebody's living in their heart, that you don't feel like you have to be anything other than yourself with them. And again, there's a lot of things that are complicated about human beings that that may be experienced, but if you have a teacher or you have a friend who supports you in a certain way, and they don't just perform for you, there's a feeling to that. If somebody wants to pretend that they're in their heart, then it is a performance. Everything is a performance. It's like, you know, you can, once you know about it, you can tell it. You can say that's just a performance. But when somebody's really in their heart, talking from their heart, you can also tell it. And again, there's a complex part of being human where if we want to be in our hearts, can we really, what does that mean? You know? It's like planting a garden. You know, you gotta go in there, you gotta see what's going on, you gotta see what's closed up, and then you gotta cultivate it. You gotta dig up the soil, you gotta find out what's there. You know, in our practice, we really put intention on creating that space for people, because I believe that it's the only thing that can actually create true healing, is where you don't judge somebody for how they feel. It doesn't mean you're gonna like it, but you can just let them be. Let them be what they want to be, and you can be what you want to be until the time comes that you can be together again or not. But it's not judging or blaming to be right. So let me show you the heart chakra, since I've been doing this in each one of my videos. There's our thing right there. It's green in color right here, right in the middle, that beautiful bridge between heaven and earth, spiraling. You know, if you can breathe in your heart, it helps to allow things to be processed. You know, it helps it come in and again kind of add that spiritualism to it. But again, there's a lot of depth that goes with it. There's a lot of intricate details that go with it. And, you know, the heart chakra develops from 3 to 6 years. So depending on a lot of different things on how that forms or how you are loved or feel loved, it will present itself when you try to love or be loved or even receive anything. You know, did you ever try to give somebody a gift and they're like, I don't know, they just can't really receive it, or they don't get you anything in return type of thing? Like, not that you expect that, but you know, whatever. Usually a back and forth type of give and receive type of thing. I hope you know what I'm saying here is that there's people that just can't receive. When they can't receive, they end up creating situations to make sure that they're isolated and alone, so then they push you away. So they're pushing away and they withdraw their heart. I mean, it's a very intricate thing. But you do things to support yourself in your heart and you get to know yourself, and then you do the best you can. You know, you do the best you can. So when I talked earlier about being codependent, you know, being codependent or even being a servant, like I talked about in the solar plexus, it simply means that, you know, when you try to give of yourself, but you can't receive in return, that's when you set yourself up for, you know what, I'm not valuable, so take your power, take my power rather, and I'm not going to receive. And the more that you understand these things and you start to, again, from an observation point of view, put them into perspective in your life, you'll start to see where those things really show up and just how often, and how absolutely harmful it is to be that way, because you will destroy everything that you have in order to stay the same. And there's a lot of reasons why people do that, but relative to the heart chakra, this is what we're dealing with. And when I say 3 to 6 years, guess what? In the 6 stages of development, if you haven't developed yourself, and it's not like anybody tells you in this world how to do it, but if you haven't been given the opportunity to naturally develop yourself into an adult, then you, in your brain, in your subconscious, and your unconscious, will access yourself at 3 to 6 years relative to being in your heart, and there you go. That's how you'll perform. And notice I said perform. Now, like I said, it's not so cut and dry. It's not about knowing something and then looking at somebody else's behavior and judging them for it. It's just about understanding that you feel a certain way and making the space for yourself to be able to process that the best you can. And hopefully those people in your life will do that for you. And sometimes people just need time away, time to grow this out, time to assimilate things. Because the more that this world asks us to step into who we truly are, sometimes, and the stronger that you get, sometimes those challenges will get quite intense. So I hope that this heart chakra lesson helps you. And again, when we're in our hearts, we can really know what true joy is. You know, I don't just perform to be perfunctory or, you know, get approval of others. It's no, I actually know what it is to love and be loved. When you feel that, it is a true essence of joy, and there's just something really special about that lightness of what that looks like. And it brings us great feelings of peace. So, again, if you have any other questions, you can leave a comment below, and please subscribe to our channel and like this video. And I hope you enjoy the next video, which will be Cindy giving you an archangel lesson about, or message rather, about the heart chakra and what it means for you today. So, namaste. Have a great day.